So even this mass shooter right now, right? There's this mass shooter, killed a bunch of people. It's terrible. The first reports are, the first idiots that decided to declare what it was immediately said it's a white dude that hates Asians. We come to find out that it's an Arabic dude. I think he's an Arabic dude. He looked Arabic, and he's got an Arabic name, right? Dude with an Arabic name looks Arabic. Don't fucking murder me. I don't know. Whatever. I think he's Arab American. So I think he's an American, right? And he we find out that it's him. He's not as white as everybody thought he was going to be. So now it's like, oh, well, we shouldn't even talk about his ethnicity. Because now that he's a minority, that is off the table. We don't discuss that. That has nothing to do with anything. If he's white, it's because he's white. That's why he shot a bunch of Asian people. If he's Arab, then it doesn't matter because they're both minorities, so that cancels out. Like, that's kind of how this works, I guess. I don't know. So, whatever. So now it's because he had a gun. It's because he had a gun. And it's like, again, he's a murderer. When you say, how do we stop, what do we do about mass shooters? When you ask that question, fundamentally what you are asking is, what do we do about murderers? Right? There is no answer to that question. What we do about murderers is, when it happens, because unfortunately, we can't always catch the shit ahead of time. If we can find it ahead of time, that's cool, but, you know what I mean? That there's a lot of legal shit going on there, so if we can find it ahead of time, that's awesome. It's just difficult to try somebody on, we think you're going to murder people. You know what I mean? So, whatever, if we figure it out ahead of time, that's awesome. If we can figure out a way to deal with them ahead of time, that's awesome. But mostly it's a reactive thing. All of a sudden one day somebody wakes up and goes, today's the day, kill them motherfuckers. And then they go and get their shit together, and then they go out and shoot a bunch of people. And everybody goes, what? Who knew this was going to happen? And you want to know who it was? That dude. When he woke up that morning and said, today's the day. That's fucking the only way any of us know when somebody's going to get murdered. Usually, every once in a while, people decide to throw that shit on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And then we kind of know. But even then, everybody goes, well, you know, the FBI have known for a long time about this person. They've been looking into this person for, you know, years because of all their tweets and stuff. And it's like, yeah. And, like, people put shit on Twitter all the fucking time. Does that mean he should have been locked up? Does that mean he should have been investigated? Because you're reporting to me that he's been investigated. They've been looking into this dude for years or whatever, for days, months, weeks. But at the same time, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Until that day happens, at what point do you arrest them? Because everybody said a whole lot of fucked up shit online. You know what I mean? Funniest thing to me, one of the times I went on this diatribe and somebody said, well, if somebody puts hateful things about how they want to murder people online, then that's when you just arrest them because it's threatening. And I'm like, dude, you've done that. Never heard from that dude again. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you've said that you wanted that people should die and stuff like that because of this, or those fuckers should die. You know what I mean? People don't fucking think when they post shit online. I do because so many people don't think when they post shit online. So I very much think about it. I know exactly what I'm doing. For those of you who do not think that I am aware of the ramifications that I am incurring with everything I am doing right now, believe me, you're wrong. I know, and I don't care. That's the beauty of me.
What the hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is. What in the hell is that?
Everybody know that's Big Dick B.
I would not mess with that thing. Don't put your lips on it.
I think this whole I don't want to do in the news anymore thing don't think it's gonna work. Look, I'll do different stuff when I figure out what I want to do. But I'm sitting here going, what do I want to do? You know what I mean? Because it's like I have a list of things written down, but I haven't got anything since that list that I've really thought of. And a lot of the things on that list are not fantastic ideas just on the list, so I still have to work them out. And I'm like, well, what am I going to talk about today then? And I'm like, well, what is interesting to me right now? What am I interested in talking about right now? Is the crisis on the border? Oh, that's the news. I want to talk about that. Don't want to talk about. So finally, I decided that I want to talk about corporate control and how very, very here we are. Like, I mean, how very fucking here we are. I've been looking into cyberpunk a lot lately. I've been doing a lot of learning about that world structure, how things work, how they did things better. They don't have any, solutions for exactly how they do it. They just got really good programming. You know what I mean? like, okay. In the game on Thursday, Rex is asking me very normal standard questions. If this was a, in the real world type, like, it's so weird because you run D&D and everybody kind of doesn't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? It's, the storyteller's making it all up in their head, and everybody else is just kind of playing along with what they know. Well, I know elves are like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of, everybody knows the same general knowledge about this shit. But cyberpunk, it's taking place in a world very much like ours, based off of our world, in fact. United States of America, the whole thing. Like, Night City is in California. So, you know what I mean? And he's asking me, well, in this world, this works like this. And I gotta tell him, yeah, that's true. But in this world, if it were to work like that, it would be catastrophic. You know what I mean? Like, if we still did things that way, it would be catastrophic to all of the cool technological shit that we do. So, it can't be done that way. It just can't. It can't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have a talk with him about some shit too. Just goddamn it. But, anyways, I'm thinking about this world, that world, a lot. I'm comparing and contrasting the two. Really digging in. And in cyberpunk, corporations have grown so powerful. It's like I was telling my boss at work today, because we were just chatting about, work shit, and he's telling me that the things that really piss me off are that we have to break into, boxes to piece out orders and shit like this, and we have to do all that shit manually. And like, we have a weigh counter, but nevertheless, I have to manually take a bucket and dig it into a fucking box. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a time waster. It should be a thing where we can go, we provide these things, in this packaging. And so therefore, it's multiples of that. And if you want one fucking less, well then when it shows up at your shop, take one out, throw it in the fucking trash. Because we ain't doing that shit for you. You know what I mean? Like, and, he's just like, man, it just sucks that we can't be like, fuck it, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, just tell your customers. Go to the CSRs, and tell your customers, we ain't breaking shit apart anymore. We're not digging in pallets for nothing. We're not going to... No. They come in multiples of what they come in. Like, you know. And I certainly agree with him. You know what I mean? I'm the guy. He's bitching about it, but I'm the guy that's going out there breaking shit apart, pulling stuff apart. So, of course, I agree with him. However, I've been in this game a little bit longer than him, so I know how this shit works. That's the reason why we get business. You know what I mean? Like, we're a middleman. We get stuff sent to us from companies, and then we sell that stuff to other companies. And those other companies go, well, look, if I just wanted to fucking buy bulk orders of shit, I would buy from the fucking people that make it. I buy from you because you break shit down. Like, this is your value to me. And you're telling me you don't want to do your value to me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through these conversations. So, you know, I'm kind of telling him that. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what we need to do is we just need to get big enough to where we can tell people, look, this is what you fucking get. If you don't like it, get it somewhere else. And then when they go, well, there's nowhere else to get it, then we go, you know what I mean? Like, there you go. Like, that's kind of, you know, that's how you want business to work. That's why you want to get into, you know, owning a cable company. Because then you can be like the only fucking one in an entire fucking area and fuck everybody else. And then you can let your service go to shit because what are you going to do? Bitch? You going to go to a competitor? You want a big old satellite on your fucking house? Or you want us? Because that's fucking, those are your choices. And have fun with the satellite. I'll talk to you in a couple months. You know what I mean? Like, I'll make sure you remember your number and let everybody know to send you right to me. And I'll help you out. Get you set right back up. Dude, my parents did that shit. They were like, you know what? We're tired of this fucking cable company. We're tired of fucking cable. Fuck it. We're getting rid of the fucking cable. We're getting a dish. And they got a dish. And now all they do is bitch about the dish. Because the dish always goes out and the picture gets fuzzy or, you know, a cloud. Right? Like, all of the problem. Like, for anybody who wants to know what it's going to be like to have power through solar, get a satellite dish. And every time your TV fucks up, think to yourself, okay, everybody turn everything off right now. Until the TV clears up, nobody can have power. The only thing that can be on is the TV, and it looks like shit. Or it's froze or whatever. Until that starts working again, nobody can have power. Try that. It's a fun experiment. You do it once and go, okay, this is stupid. I'm not even doing this anymore. So, there you go. Right? And so my parents are already talking about wanting to get cable again. And I just laughed at them. I'm like, what cable company are you going with? Well, of course we're going to go with AT&T or whatever the fuck it is. And I'm like, of course you are. This is the people you left, because fuck them. And now what are you doing? Tucking your tail between your legs and sniveling back. Right? So it's like, well, fuck it, whatever. And I rent, so I don't give a shit. I get whatever comes out of the fucking wall wherever I am. I've had a range of different service providers. And you want to know something? You want to know the secret of it all? They all suck a dick. You want to know why? Because they all have their little fucking fiefdoms. Right? And then once they have total control of their area, they go, why do we need to do a good job? Where else are they going to go? It's called cost-cutting measures. Whenever the corners, replace the word cost with corners. And that's the application. That's how they save costs. They cut corners. Round that shit out to a circle and it doesn't work as well. You know what I mean? So, and I'm watching it, all this shit going on. You fucking, dude, Google and Apple and Amazon and Facebook, Twitter, all of these companies rigged an election. They convinced you that it would be a better idea to vote in the very nice old man, right, who is telling you, if only you'd think about it rationally long enough to figure it out, he's directly telling you, I'm going to fuck this country raw, rotten, and dry. But I'm so nice that you're going to thank me for it, you dumb motherfuckers. He essentially, in so many... I mean, that's what I fucking heard every time I heard him tell me his policies. I'm just like... When he would actually tell you a policy, I was like, oh, fuck me, that's great. Like, it's just like, well, can you tell me one that I'm going to like at all? Like, even part of? No, he can't. And so far, everybody's pretty pissed. All the auto workers are going, what the fuck? We supported Joe Biden, and now he's fucking Ford is moving shit back to Mexico like they said they were going to do under Trump. And Trump said, don't you fucking dare, or we're just going to tax the shit out of everything you bring into this country. And they said, okay. And so now Joe Biden's president, and they're like, well, guess what? Back to Mexico, orale, you know, and so now the auto workers are like, well, fuck, we told all our people to vote for you, and now we're going to lose work. What are you doing to us? And Joe Biden's like, because Pipe Fitters Union said everybody got to vote for Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the best. We support Joe Biden. And then he shut down the pipeline. And they went, wait. That's our big massive job. Sorry. I told you I was going to do it many times. And then when somebody would ask me directly if I was going to do it, I would say, no, of course not. See, that was kind of like the trick. He would tell people, day one, I'm ending fossil fuel usage in this country. We will be net zero emissions day one. And then somebody goes, are you seriously going to halt all oil production, all fuel usage, everything? You're going to sign that into law your first day? And he'll go, of course not. That'd be silly. And then he'd go to his next speech and go, day one, we're shutting the shit down. Zero emissions, bitches. And then somebody'd come up to him and go, are you seriously talking about shutting down the whole oil production industry, the coal mining industry, all of it? And he'd go, oh, of course not, that's silly. Like, that was the trick of Joe Biden. He would tell you all this ridiculous shit, then when asked the question, he would go, no, I'm not going to do that. So that way, all the idiots on the left that believe the reality that Joe Biden should just never be questioned because he tells you exactly what he is going to do and everything he says he's going to do is great, right? So they watch him in his speeches and he says, I'm going to shut down everything and it's going to be awesome. And they go, he said it's going to be awesome. And then they start asking him questions and all those people go, I don't need to ask him questions. He said it's going to be awesome. Let's watch the Kardashians, right? And then, or whatever the fuck the stupid, let's get on TikTok. I don't even fucking know anymore what the hip thing of the day is. But anyways, whatever. Let's do something mindless and stupid. And so they go and do something mindless and stupid, right? And then all of the people that have listened to him speak, but they know it's all bullshit because he can't possibly do any of the things he says in his speeches, right? They really actually perk up whenever he starts taking questions, right? So one side tunes out and the other side tunes in. And they're like, I want to know what he says to these questions. And then somebody says, are you seriously saying that you're going to shut down coal mining in this country? And he goes, no, of course not. And they go, oh, well, okay. And the whole while I'm sitting there watching the media and all these media outlets and newspapers and whatnot, all these websites and shit like that, they're all bolstering Joe Biden by just kind of adding their own fucking shit into it. So they're selling Joe Biden, right? And there's a lot of people that are going, you motherfuckers are being sold. Don't you realize you motherfuckers are being sold? You're being sold. What are you doing? And they get YouTube, which is where most of us say that shit on. They get them to crack down on us and say you can't say that shit. And I can say, I don't give a fuck, because I've only got 5,000 subscribers. Again, you got to keep yourself low when you're in danger. So I keep my shit low. I would love to make a living doing this, but I would love to make a living for more than a couple of weeks doing this. You know what I mean? So I stay low. And I talk my shit, and YouTube cracks down hardcore on everybody that's way above me. And I just sit there and laugh and go, I watch you guys rise like a meteor. Y'all damn motherfuckers, you should have stayed low. You should have been smarter than that. Should have told your peoples, pass me around, but tell everybody that watches, tell them don't subscribe. Make sure people watch it. Just don't let them subscribe, because I got to keep my shit low. If I get to 10,000, like when Bering doubled me up, I was like, oh, 5,000. I'm like, oh no. I honestly think if I get up to 10,000 subscribers, that could be my ass. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to keep low, because I can still talk shit if I keep low. But I'm watching everything get cracked down on, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. So now nobody can tell anybody that they're getting conned. And so the media with Joe Biden just cons people. Like, dude, and it's large corporations that are installing puppet regimes into the government to enforce their ideology and their values, quote unquote, because I don't really see the things that they value as being valuable. So, you know what I mean? Like the general, the when they frame it as like pretty much everything that you idiots are responding to me right now from just that one base statement of I don't consider their values to be valuable. Like, you're all going, you mean you don't think that caring about people is valuable? Yes. When you broaden it out to as broad as you could possibly make it, then yeah, I do agree with that. However, in every manner in which you apply those values, that is not valuable. It's damaging. So, right? I don't consider their values to be valuable. Their values in and of themselves are values. That's why they're values. Compassion, kindness, right? Except sincerity, fair play. These are also values, right? Freedom, liberty, justice. These are also values, right? So, rational thought, competence. Anyways, so yeah, I lost my train of thought because I had to fucking clarify that shit because I knew something. I'm trying to do that more often. I'm trying to predict when people are gonna go ridiculous, and so I'm trying to predict it now so that I can answer it ahead of time, so that I can go, I fucking answer the video, shut up and keep listening, and that can just be my copy paste response for every fucking comment. But yeah, so where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, so I'm watching these corporations essentially rig an election, and I'm like, well, that's certainly a step along the way. You know what I mean? They're that powerful now. Like, they've risen above politics, right? And what has really cemented that for me, what has really and honestly and truthfully cemented that for me in my big old empty dome up here, right? Because for anybody who doesn't realize this, the earth is actually flat. And if you were to pick up my hat, like with my top of my head with it, you would see the dome and all of you guys on the earth. You're all actually in here. It's not a lie. And all of the shit you see around you, right? That is all under here. I just want you to know that. If you want to know how that works, I can't tell you, because it's secret government shit, but nevertheless, I gotta keep that secret. Just keep telling people the head is round, right? My head is round. The earth is round, right? It's still true. Like, that's what I'm saying. So anyways, where was I? Oh, what really cemented it in my head, before I start talking about my head, what really cemented it is I'm watching Tucker Carlson interview Kristi Noem, the governor of North one of the Dakotas. Fucking Dakota. And, you know, he's talking to her about this fucking bill that she threatened to veto or whatever. She put a stop to it, the whole fucking thing. And she's trying to explain to him why. She's not doing a fantastic job. Kristi, if you're watching this, lovely woman, from the bottom of my heart, you need to get with somebody to figure out how to explain shit, because you do a terrible job. Like, you explain the nonsense, like political, like, you know, you're talking all the red tape mumbo jumbo lingo shit. You need to fucking get to what is the actual explanation for why, right? So it takes a while. It's like pulling teeth, but nevertheless, she comes out with the reason fucking why. And she says, I couldn't support the bill. I couldn't sign the bill in the way that it is currently stated, because essentially it gives legal right to anybody who falls subject under this bill. It gives them the legal right to sue that organization that, you know, it's a bill to only allow biological females to play in girls' sports, right? That's what it is. And what it does is, if a non-biological female wants to go on the girl team, and they get told, you're not biologically a girl, so you can't, then they can turn around and sue that school or organization. Essentially, they can just sue them in a friendly to this sort of thing, you know what I mean, like judicial area. And so they'll just sue the school, and then the school will say, biologically, that's a boy. And then the court will say, well, we need you to define what biologically means. And they'll go, genetically. And they'll go, well, genetics is mutable. Dismissed. And they'll fucking just throw the shit out and go, you gotta let him on. You gotta let him on the team. And so she's like, look, it just opens us up to, it's a law that I'm going to literally sign into law that is going to then get my state sued ad infinitum. Like, I'm not going to do this, because all it does is open me up to massive legal liability. So they have to come up with a way of saying, no, it's girls only. Like, this is an all-girl area. You can't be boys in here. No swinging dicks, right? No hairy pits. You're not allowed. I know girls get hairy pits, but fuck you. I don't care anymore. So, yeah, I've done it enough at points in this video that I don't give a shit anymore. So, yeah. Like, and who is going to sue? The citizens? No. She's not even worried about the citizens suing over it, because it would be affected at the collegiate level. She's worried about the colleges and the NCAA suing the government and winning, and essentially nullifying the whole point of the fucking bill in the first place. Right? They'll sue. The state's going to have to pay a shit ton of money to fucking the NCAA, whoever the fuck they want to have, but the person involved, I don't fucking know. Whoever the NCAA sues the fucking state on behalf of, maybe it'll be that fucking way, but whatever it is, I don't know. So it just opens them up for litigation. And then ultimately, I imagine part of the settlement is going to be, and she gets to play. So what the fuck is the point of signing that law? Like, why would anybody do that? If I sign this piece of paper, this means that if I ever do anything to upset you, you can sue me until I stop doing it. That's it, man. If you ever get that contract slipped in front of you, sign it every time. No. No, that's stupid. So, yeah. I don't know who in the fuck she got to write up the bill that way, but whoever the fuck it was that wrote the bill up that way is retarded. I don't know. Like, Kristi Noem, I know is a Republican, so maybe she has like a whole Democrat staff or something like that, and they're like, Miss Noem wants us to, or Governor Noem wants us to write up a bill that says, you know, boys are boys and girls are girls. And everybody goes, oh, but it's so not progressive. And they go, yeah, we're going to not do that. So we'll just make it to where if they actually pass this, then the state will just get sued a whole lot. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I always think of it like children. That's why I kind of acted out like children. But nevertheless, so what in the fuck is going on with the idiots that wrote that bill? So that's my question, first of all. Like, because that kind of shit makes me go, like, that's retarded on the face of it. If that's legit, like, if I'm going to believe Kristi Noem, I heard it from her fucking mouth. If I'm going to believe Kristi Noem, she has employed morons to write these bills for her. Like, I don't know how that shit works. Like, I don't know how that shit works on the state level. But whoever the fuck it is that's coming up with these bills, they're idiots. They got to come up with something way fucking better than that. Because that's stupid. Whatever. So, yeah, like, another corporation makes it to where the government has to really think about how they're going to do things, because woe upon them should they anger the corporate gods. Like, this, what we got going on right now, this is not capitalism. This shit, not capitalism. I just want to make that clear for everybody. For all of you dummies that think you're going to talk to me about how I support capitalism and all that, guess what? This is not capitalism. This is unchecked, fuck you, we got the power. Like, this is authoritarianism through corporation. Right? This is cyberpunk. This is not capitalism. That is not how capitalism works. You don't become so powerful that then you just push around the government and say, well, we're just taking over. Like, if you want that kind of world, I'm looking forward to it, because that means it's going to be the Wild West again. I can just walk around and shoot people if I want to. Fine with that. Right? You upset me, woe be upon you, because I'll just shoot you. Because fuck it, if it's going to get that dangerous. Like, seriously, if it's going to get that dangerous. Like, honestly, even the mass shooter, which I guess, here's what I'll do. I'm going to end the video now. I'll talk about the mass shooter real quick. I'll clip that shit, throw it in the front of the fucking video, and there we go. All right.